Hello, and welcome to the Artist Pivot Podcast. My name is Ayana Major Bay, and well, I'm your host. I am on a mission to educate, empower, and celebrate artists so they have no option but to thrive. This is a weekly conversation with artists about their current pivot, past pivots, and every pivot in between that I hope will remind other creatives that we innately have it in us to reevaluate and adapt. When I'm not podcasting, my world is full of voiceovers, musical theater, mentoring, travel, and some cooking and baking. But enough about me. Let's get on with the show. On this episode, I am joined by Carbonell Award-winning actress, singer, baker, entrepreneur, mentor, aka the Dramatic Dessertress, Sarah Gracel Anderson. She is from Miramar, Florida, and the CEO of the Candy Girls Gourmet Sweets. Sarah grew up singing in church, which opened the door to her being a lead singer in the entertainment group A. Randolph and the Smash Room Project, and her award-winning performance of Effie White in Dreamgirls. Her love of baking came after her sister taught her how to make a red velvet cake. She began to bake and sell red velvet cupcakes and cookies, so her sister suggested she turn it into a business, which she did. She creates different flavors based on candy, hence the name, the Candy Girls Gourmet Sweets, and she is among Miami's favorite cupcakes. We discuss her parallel careers, how she's using all of her gifts which helps her follow her purpose, and that your support system needs to be as strong as you are. Here's our conversation. All right, everybody. So today on the show, I have joining me Miss Sarah Gracel Anderson. Hey!
Yes, she is here. She is here.
She's here. She's present, y'all. Yes.
How you doing?
Sarah. I am doing well, honey. How are you?
I am doing great. Been busy and, but I am doing great. I'm just glad to be here.
That's what I like to hear. You're doing great. I like to hear that. So my first question to you is going to be might throw you off a little bit, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If I were to text you right now and ask you how you're doing, but you could only reply in emojis, which emojis would you send me?
Let me look at my phone right now. I would send a heart. The pink heart that has
the double,
two.
yes.
Yeah, the double. I would send a upside down smiley face.
Okay.
A blush face. And I'm trying to look for something that's kind of like a low-key tired face. But a good face, at the same time. Not like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired and I can't make it, but like a good tired, because I am a bit sleepy. But today has been a great day. Yes. And this week has been a great week. So those will be my emojis right now.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that, for that text of emojis of how you doing. Yes.
Well, I like that.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I kind of came up with it after watching, do you know the show Run the World on HBO? That's my show. For y'all, those of you who don't know, go watch it. It's so good. It's so good. Run the World.
I love that show.
I love it. But do you remember when the daughter and, I can't remember the character's name. I'm forgetting. But remember the daughter and then the character who was dating her dad?
Yes.
And then every morning they'd be like, pink heart, 3 unicorns, and something.
And he continues to try to figure out what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And he never can. Yes. I love
So that's kind of where this idea came from. I was like, okay, I want to do something different to ask my guests. And I was like, if they had to text me an emoji, what would you text me?
That is neat. That's something to think about too, because every day, if you pay attention to, I know with my text messages, every day is something different. Yes. And I do use emojis a lot. So when I can sit to think about what I'm actually sending, and it's like, okay, are you really feeling like wine face right now? Are you really feeling like roll my eyes emoji right now? Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you really think about it, it makes you actually think about it, Yes. So I like that. I like that.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you. And I want to say thank you for joining me today.
No problem. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes. Yeah. I got a little bit of her time, y'all. She's busy. She's a busy woman. Okay.
The funny thing is when you wrote me
Mhm.
not too long before, like a couple of weeks before, because I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Mhm.
So I'm always like, oh, one day I would like to either be on one
Mhm.
or start one or something, but I really don't have like you said, a lot of time like to be able to sit and do and then edit and then all this kind of stuff. But I was like, I would love to be on one, and
Mhm.
then when you sent me that message, I was like, okay, God,
Right?
okay,
Asking you shall receive.
okay. I was like, wow. So that's why I'm like, yes, I would love to do it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
thank you.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I accept that. Thank you. So let's see, where do I start? So Miss Sarah here, y'all, is Wonder Woman. She has, in essence, like a double career. She is, or shall I say, parallel careers. She is an actress and singer, but as
Mhm.
well as an amazing baker. And like parallel careers, like one is doesn't outweigh the other.
Right.
Like you're an
Wow.
artist who bakes, like
Yeah, pretty
you guys,
much.
she's amazing. So,
Thank
what
you.
you're very welcome. What I want to talk about is kind of where it began. Where did this
Woo.
love of baking start? Where did this love of singing and acting? You're like, oh, I could do that too. And then where did you get the idea to be like, okay, I'm going to do both at the same time? And we'll get to
Okay.
your pivots later, but let's talk about the
Okay.
beginning.
Okay, because this is a journey. So
Yes.
I want to say, so I grew up in church.
Hmm.
My mom being the youth choir director, all of my like my siblings, all of us sing. My brother plays instruments, so it's like music has always been there and very present.
Yes.
So and then I also have been in oratorical contests and all that since I was a kid, like probably
Yeah.
like 5 years old, up there saying little speeches and stuff like that. So
Yes.
my love for the arts has, I think I was just born with it.
Hmm.
So I was born and blessed with the gift of singing, and then the acting came along.
Hmm.
I've always been a dramatic child. I've always been a very outspoken girl, and I think my family always used to say, girl, you need to be on somebody's TV. You know how people say that all the time. And
Yes.
so that's just been my life, like from a kid.
Hmm.
I actually my mom got a prophecy
Hmm.
about me when I was probably, I want to say, right before middle school.
Okay.
And God said that, I would be an actress. I
Hmm.
would actually perform, and I would perform sing in front of kings and queens and,
Mm.
all this stuff. So,
Yes.
with me, I'm just like, okay, so she put me in modeling.
Hmm.
I'm sure, more than sure, at that time, she really didn't know where to go with it. She's
Hmm.
just like, okay, let me put her in something. So I
Hmm.
was in modeling and etiquette classes. It wasn't so much of acting per se, but it was
Yeah.
some commercial type, reading some commercial lines and different stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I was never put like in acting classes or anything like that.
Hmm.
Fast forward to going into middle school, me and my brother, we went to Norland Middle School of the Arts,
Hmm.
and we were in the magnet program. So I had to audition for
Okay.
magnet. My mom actually wanted me to do drama, but
Mhm.
I was scary and I was scared to do a monologue. So
Oh
I didn't
no.
even do it. I was like, let me just sing. I just want to sing. So I'll just do music,
Hmm.
because that was my comfort zone. So I just did that, and I went ahead and, got into the music program all the way
Hmm.
throughout high school. I was in chorus and everything. Um, and I think towards the ending of my high school days, I always still wanted, had a desire to try to act. But like I say,
Hmm.
fear actually like held me down all them years. And
Hmm.
it's sad when I think about it now, because I'm like, dang, if I would have been in drama and stuff, I could have had some good training, because it was some great drama teachers at my school, Miss Seidel being one of them, Tanisha Seidel, she's here in Miami, Florida, and she is one of the greats. So it's like, if I would have been in drama, I could have, you know, gotten a lot of great teaching.
Yes.
But that's neither here nor there.
Right.
That was that. Music was still everything. Music was great. Music was everything. And that's still my, you know, my number one passion. But going along from there, I was asked to be a part of, well, along those ways, I was in plays at church and stuff like that, but, you know, not like in school and everything. But after that, went ahead and I was asked to be a part of a little stage play that they were doing at a church. And it was with this man named Ulrich. And he actually, he was like a acting coach kind of. So he loved me, you know, so he ended up connecting me with another man, which was a director for a new stage play that was coming out or whatnot. So I ended up meeting him and I worked with both of them. And that was like the beginning of it.
Of the acting, yes. Okay.
Yes. So I was in my first year of college. I did go to college, for everybody who always wondering. I did go to college. I did not I didn't finish. But I ended up, I was doing well in college and everything, but I wanted to pretty much pursue acting, kind of like full time, like be able to really not have to go to class and do this and that and just do what I wanted to do. But my sister, okay, so I fast forward a lot. So my mom passed from breast cancer when I was 14 years old. So this is ninth grade.
Okay. So
this is ninth grade. She passed. My sister was just getting married that year. That was 2004. So her and my brother-in-law, they ended up taking care of me and my brother. It's only 3 siblings, me, my brother, and my sister is the oldest.
Okay.
So it's us 3. They're taking care of us. And my mom is gone now. And my grandmother has always been cooking. My sister loved to cook. So my sister went ahead and with my grandmother started our family catering company, which was Juanita's Kitchen. So she started that. And me, even when I was in school, I went ahead and I would always be working in the catering company. Working in the catering company, you know, because I'm for the family. Like we gonna do this. So I was working with the family in the catering business. So that has been well over, I don't know how many years, but over 10 years that we were catering. So that was before the restaurant, before all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't even a thought, really. So how the Candy Girls came along was because I decided I didn't want to stay in school. I wanted to, you know, go after my dreams. So my sister is like, look, you can do this. I'll give you some time to do that. But you can't just be sitting around here waiting from show to show or whatever. You got to have something else going on. So she would put, you know, different things. So my sister is like this business genius type lady. And so she can make a business out of literally anything. So she would put little things in front of me. So it was like, okay, no. And then one day, we had a catering job and it included red velvet cake. So she taught me that red velvet cake recipe and I did it for that one. After that, every job she made me do the baking, right?
Yes.
So I'm not realizing what's happening. I'm just like, okay, I'll do it, you know? And then pretty soon she's like, okay, you should put on a little sale. Okay, it's Valentine's Day. Put on some cupcake sale because I started wanting to do it, you know, cupcakes and stuff. And this is way before baking was like a fad. Like, you know, this is way long before. This is like 2012, 2011. You know, this is way before everybody in their daughter was baking, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yes.
So she's, you know, throwing that stuff at me. Then I began to put on sales. I went into wanting to do, because in the mall, you know, you would pass by the little cookie stand and they had the big old cookie cakes.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, I want to try that. So I started trying the cookie cakes, and I would do cookie cakes, the big old cookie cake sales and cupcakes. And all I did was red velvet.
Okay.
Now, when I look back at posts and different messages, I'm like, people was ordering this stuff like I had a slew of flavors. And the only difference in the cupcakes, I would put like M&M, like different toppings on the same red velvet cupcake. But when you saw the people commenting, they would be like, did you taste that Snickers one? Did you taste that? And so now I'm just like, they was really like overdoing it. Like, y'all really was going crazy like this over some Snickers on top of a cupcake, M&M's on top of the other one, Butterfingers. Like, I just did it like that.
Yeah.
So she was asking me, because we started talking about, you know, making it kind of like a business or whatnot. So she was asking about the Candy Girls. So that's where the candy toppings and different things came from.
Okay.
So I just started trying to make it happen. So I would be walking in the grocery store down the bacon aisle, and I tell you no lie, and when I say this, I'll be like, people just gonna think that she just crazy and weird. But you know, you'll understand what I'm saying. But God would literally be talking to me and telling me like, get this, get that, you know, put this together, whatever. Because I would think of a flavor or something, and it's like, okay, I want to do something. If I'm going to go, and we call it the Candy Girls, let me try to do stuff from candy. So it's like, okay, let me try a Snickers cupcake. Let me try a Reese's cupcake, or this or that. And it works for me. Yeah. And I tell you no lie, God was just leading. And I still have these flavors. I would continue to work on them until they were like perfect to my eye. I'm not a big cake eater, but I would have everybody eating these cupcakes. Yes. Okay, you need to try this. I need to know your honest opinion.
Right.
Tell me what came to mind when you first bit into this cupcake. I'm still like that even today. And my grandma is like, you know you got the best recipe, so why are you questioning it? You know that you got, and I'm just like, I just have to be sure. I want to be 100% sure. So I ask people's opinion. Even now, I'll ask customers, okay, who want to be a taste tester today? You know, but that's how the Candy Girls pretty much came about, and it was a wrap from there. My love for baking just grew, and everywhere I go, people just began to, hey, Candy Girl, hey, and it's like, okay, you got a cupcake in your purse, you got a cupcake in the car and stuff. So
not in the purse.
Everywhere I went, listen, yes. So when I moved on to doing cake jars, now, yes, I do have cake in my purse, because now I have a cake jar in my purse.
Come on,
so
okay.
It all just worked out. And that's how it came about. And that's how I chose to do. Long story short, I never went back to school. I was pretty much, you know, content in exactly where I am, and working also still in my family's business, strong still, you know, and within my family's business, the way that things are set up, my sister sets them up like to where all of us are using every gift. So whether I had a show, a musical or not to do, when we're doing our sweet butter pop-up restaurants, I'm still performing. Literally, we're doing theatrical shows and concerts, and you know, I'm doing the desserts for the event, and you know, it's everything is all tied up, you know what I'm saying, into one. So I just like to say that I'm pretty blessed, you know what I'm saying, to be born in the family that I'm in.
Yes.
I don't know if that can sum it up or not.
Sounds like it. That was an amazing summary. You know. That was an amazing summary. Yes. And I love that your sister has the mindset of like, everybody in this family is going to use all of their gifts, and we're going to blend it all together.
Yep. My brother, I'll just throw in a little bit about my siblings as well. So my brother, he plays the drums for the band when we're performing and everything, as well as he does the build outs at our restaurants. He does the graphic, the t-shirts, the cups, all things behind
all the merchandise,
like all kind of things he does. And he also plays for church at Antioch at church. And so we're just I'm blessed to be a part of a talented family who's actually who actually supports you, you know what I'm saying, and the things that you want to do, and pushes you to be great and to do all the things that God put us here to do.
Right. That makes sense. And I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know that, for a while, that was your parallel career. Okay, I'm actress and singer and a baker, but then I also got my family over here with their restaurant. So I'm using all of my skills, all of my gifts. But then the year that was 2020 happened.
Girl.
And so I know that you actually have a line out in stores of your own cake mix. And also you did the whiz on Clubhouse.
Yes.
But I know that those were things that were brought on because the pandemic happened, correct?
Yes.
So let me know, give me your thinking, your thought process. How in the world you were like, okay, I got to pivot and I got to change because I got to survive.
Yeah, basically. So, okay. Life was good, with doing everything, the world is open. And now it feels funny to even say the world was open because to me, the world is still not wide open. You know what I mean? It's
same here.
You know what I'm saying? So we still trying to survive this thing.
Yes.
So at that moment, it just was like, what's really happening? Like shows getting canceled literally in the opening week of shows. Okay, it's canceled. Whole cast just out here looking like, what is going on? You know what I mean? So I do thank God that I did have my business going, already, because I'm sure it could have become something during this time as well. But I do thank God that it was already established, already here. We had the restaurant already. So with me, it hit and it was like, okay, now I get to slow down. So I tell people this all the time. I'm not mad at, what I'm saying, the quarantine time that we got, and mine was kind of cut short because our businesses are essential businesses. So we were still working, still had the restaurant to do, still, we were still at it. But a lot of parts of my life did slow down. So my friends, family, they will tell you I'm always on the go. If I'm not in a show, then I'm always baking. Right now, I have my desserts are in over 10 local restaurants, from all the way from Miami to Broward County to West Palm Beach.
Yes.
So even then, you know what I'm saying? All of this stuff was going on. So there was a lot of things that was happening. Stores, even with our businesses, stores were going out, shortages in food, in products. So it was a little hard at some point, because it's like, okay, yeah, we still trying to service people, but where are we gonna get the sugar from? Where are we gonna get the chicken from? Where is this stuff gonna come from? We can't pull it out of a hat. So there were many things, you know what I'm saying, that had to take place. But my sister, during that time, she went ahead and started her business school, the Empire University. And of course, I joined it because I feel like I knew lots of things about business from her, of course, but I was in my earlier, my later teenage days and, early young adult days when it all started. So a lot of things I felt like I needed to really learn and know for myself. So that was one of the things that came about and changed my my business mindset and everything. It kind of upgraded it, what I'm saying, during that time, because it's like, I'm not going to just sit here and lay down and let COVID just, take over. No, I'm going to figure out how I can pivot during this time. Okay. So now how can I bring my business to you at home? Everybody isn't ordering birthday cakes and having birthday parties, because now you can't have no birthday parties. So now what are you going to do to allow your customers to be able to still enjoy you and your product in the comfort of their home? So I began with my DIY cake kits, bake it yourself cake kits, which came with all of the things that you needed to be able to bake it yourself at home. So it came with my cake mix. And this is before I actually dropped the cake mix line. So I was getting it out by any means, so it came with the pans for you to bake your, so it was like nothing that you would have to leave home for. Yeah, everything pretty much came, and you pretty much already got eggs, water, and at your house. So pretty much it all was, it was in there. You got your cake pans, your cake decorations for the design that we're doing. I had I have a QR code on there that links you to the video instructions with me actually interacting and telling you, okay, here's how you do this. Let's start here step by step. So, oh my God, I'm getting excited thinking about that, because I haven't even done those in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Because everything else started picking up so heavy. So, that was really a fun time for me. I tried to get on my YouTube vibe, but that takes a lot out of me as well. So I have some videos, and things, but that's neither here nor there. I'll get to that when I can. I learned to take my time though, during this time. I learned to move at my own pace, not look at what everybody else is doing, not look at, how fast it looks like everybody else is going.
Come on, say that again for the people in the back, okay?
Not look at, how fast it looked like everybody else is going, because it looked like that from this end, but we don't know what this person has gone through to get to this place. And maybe this is just their season,
right?
And we lose sight of that sometimes. And then when we're looking on social media at people and stuff like that, we getting discouraged for our own life and our own situation, when it's like, girl, you need to chill out. You don't know what that girl was going through before this. And this was the point that she needed to bring her through and over.
Yes.
So I literally, because I would sit and people wouldn't even notice about me, because of the type of person that I am. But I would sit and sometimes just looking on social media stuff, sometimes I felt like people was passing me by. And then I would be talking to my friends and they're like, girl, do you know who you are? And this is why I preach so hard about the people you have around you. I know we going all kind of, you can edit this however.
No, I don't need to edit. Come on and speak, girl. We don't need to edit. Come on.
But this is why I go so hard on my mentees and stuff about friends, because who you have around you is so important. Because when in those times when you are feeling down and you are feeling like you are behind, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm 25 years old. I should be here by now. Look at this person. Look at that person. Or you just feeling down about yourself without looking at somebody else. When you mention these things to people, what kind of people do you have around you? Are they gonna remind you really of who you are?
Yeah.
Are they going to push you to do what you have to do? Girl, you need to get up and dust it off. If you're not satisfied with your life right now and what's going on, what you gonna do about it?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Don't sit. You can't sit there and wallow in whatever you're feeling, those negative feelings. You have to pick it up and move on. So those are the kind of friends that I have.
Yes.
Shout out to Jaleesa Faye. Shout out to Bree Janae. Shout out to Cassie.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, I can't keep on going, but I love y'all so much. But I thank God for my friends, because when I'm in those modes and I'm acting crazy, it's like, do you know that you got this, that, and a third going on right now? You don't even have time to be thinking about what somebody else is doing. You just need to be focusing on what you're doing and get it done.
Yes.
You already, do you see? And then I'm sitting there like, okay, yeah, I did go look. I could look back at my to-do list, which I encourage everybody to make to-do lists.
Yep, I'm here for to-do lists
for
as well.
the week, for the day.
Yep.
Because when you look back at those to-do lists and you see what you have checked off, you know, it brings you back around like, okay, well, I did do something. I didn't just sit here and twiddle my thumbs all week, all day. I really did get stuff done. You know? So those are things that happened to me during that time. I did have those moments, but when it came down to it, I just knew I had to do what I had to do.
Right.
I had to do what I had to do. I let other people's success and things that it looks like is going on, I let that be my motivation. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm gonna what that post say. I'm gonna boss up and I'm gonna be like, okay, well, what I'm gonna do now to get on this level, to get to where I want to be and where I need to be. Yeah. So those DIY cake kits, they were a hit. They were so successful. My birthday was during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic. So I made a whole video post and said, if you want to celebrate my birthday with me, order your kit and we're going to bake together and we're going to get on Zoom and work it out. Because prior to the pandemic, I was also doing what I call libations, cake decorating with a twist. It's like painting with a twist, but with cake decorating. So it's a lifetime, and it was, I would have open classes where anybody, you know, could buy tickets and come and learn how to decorate cakes and take your cake home with you and, you know, just have a blast. We had music, drinks, everything. It was a vibe. So that's pretty much where the DIY cake kits came from, because it's like I could send libations to them. You could order kits for your child's party or your birthday party. I had people ordering it for their birthday party with their girls, and it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And because you got the video instructions right there, now y'all having a grand old time, and you know, enjoying yourselves. So those are, I listen, just talking to you right now is making me excited, because I didn't even like pretty much remember all this stuff that happened in the beginning of the pandemic. And when you think back, it's like, we really made it through. We really are making it through. You know what I mean? And you forget sometimes the ways that you know, the ways that come up for you to make it through and out. You know, and the things that took up that time and, you know, helped you to get through, you know, without losing your mind, because during that time, it was so many deaths going on and so many things happening that we could have lost our mind. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So that was one pivot. As far as the cake mix goes, I actually had that idea for years. Really? And just never really, I look back at some messages from me and my sister, and we had the whole breakdown going on, like, okay, you need to get this, you need to try this. And this was like, when I say years ago. So I'm just looking like, dog, and it took me all this time to actually, let's do this now. But hey, everything happens in the timing that it should. You know what I mean? So who knows why it took whatever time, but it did. And now the cake mix is a hit as well, because I look at the cake mix on the shelves. I remember, you know, it takes me down memory lane, and this is why I wanted to create it, because I remember, you know, my mom, grandma, sister, you know, my aunt, like in the kitchen cooking, and
Yeah.
All of the kids running up to lick the bowl and lick the spoon of the cake batter.
Yes, yep.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I want people to have those same memories with my cake mix. Okay, because now when I look back at these cake mix, I'm like, they have nothing on the Candy Girls. Okay. So it's like, okay, I want to recreate those same memories, but with my very own cake mix. Yeah. So during the Empire University, we had different business launch challenges and stuff like that. So that was what I did mine on, putting my cake mix out there and getting it going. So that has been great. Everybody actually, when I tell you, I know one guy, he had to pick up twice for his mother-in-law. He's like, what do you put in that cake mix? What you got in there? Because they just keep wanting it. And when they bake it, it tastes just like yours. I'm like, yes, it does,
It does.
And this other girl, she's like, my mom is still talking about that cake I made for my dad's birthday with the red velvet cake mix. She was just like, oh my gosh, now I just got to learn how to icing like you. So, it brings me so much joy. You know what I'm saying? To hear the feedback, from people, because this is exactly what I envisioned. This is exactly what I wanted for the cake mix. Right. And to see it actually coming to pass is like, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. And I'm actually going to do a restock really soon because, it's been a lot. Yes. So now on to my last pivot, I guess, which is in the arts. Yeah. In the beginning, like I said, I took to trying to record a lot of videos for YouTube with the downtime that I had because I did have more free time than I usually would have. Yeah. So when it first slowed down, so I did do some stuff like that. I would say that I didn't take so much advantage of like making my own content and stuff, with the acting, but I put a lot of focus into my business instead. Yeah. And I thank God for that now, because even with theater and different things opening back up, my business is the Candy Girls is pretty much, it's on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? And now, even before I could leave and go do a show out of town and still have my business running. And now it's at an even greater level now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that. I did get the opportunity, like you said, to do, I got on Clubhouse. That was the new hot thing. And I started to see that they were doing, they did Dreamgirls. I think The Wiz was the second show that they did on Clubhouse. So they did Dreamgirls. And of course, I'm a Dream Girl forever and ever and ever. So I was mad that I missed that audition because I really would have loved to do that. But no, Dreamgirls was the second one. Lion King was the first one. That's what the first one was. Right. Okay. Because I remember listening in on the auditions, but I was like, I'm not gonna, do this. I pretty much came in on it and I really didn't know what was going on. Then I figured it out. And then I was like, oh, this is cool. Let me just, pay attention and see what's really going on here. I saw different people auditioning for it, like people who, were already celebrities and stuff. And they were auditioning as well. And it's like, this is lit. Like, it was really good, Yeah. So then The Wiz came about, and I did The Wiz twice before. Okay. I did it in North Carolina, in Banner Elk, North Carolina, a couple of years ago. And I played Eveline. Okay. And then I did it again when I came home. And I played Eveline again. Okay. This time, because I always loved Ada Pearl. Okay. And this time I was cast as Ada Pearl, and I was like, oh my goodness. I actually started out as an understudy. And then I ended up being one of the main ones. So God is funny like that. That happens to me like more. It happened to me more than once before with the show. I start out as like an understudy, and then something happens. So when that happens, I don't even fear. I don't be like, oh man, whatever. I just start preparing for my main role because I know it's gonna happen.
Ooh, come
much. On. So. And, that made me feel like I don't want to toot my own horn, but sometimes you do have to, because you can forget who you are. And I went through a phase like that. So I try to always, remember, go down memory lane a little bit and remember exactly who I am and where I came from, what I'm worth, and
what you're capable
keep that
of.
in mind.
Yes.
You said something. You want us to say something?
I was just saying what you're capable.
Want to say something?
What you're capable of. That's it.
Yes.
That's what I was saying. Remind yourself of what you're capable of.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because it's so easy to forget. That's a whole nother conversation, girl. We're going to have another podcast.
For that. That's right. That's a whole nother conversation, friend.
But yes, so The Wiz was a very great experience. Just seeing the difference and the similarities, of being in a show period, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Some of the differences that I saw, I'll throw this out there, and that I enjoyed was not having to travel to rehearsal.
Come on. Because
it was all virtual. People were from all over the world participating in this one show.
Right.
We did rehearsals on Zoom as well as Clubhouse.
Okay.
But people from all over the world was able to be in that one place doing a show. So that was a great experience. And not only that, I pretty much, I always pride myself in getting off book for rehearsals, because I don't like to be all stumbling and all that kind of stuff. But even with this, you could have the script right there, and you know what I'm saying?
And nobody would know.
Yes. So that was a great thing as well. But just realizing that, it just also made me realize how great it is to still, perfect your craft and still try your best to be off book and things like that. So that, because technical difficulties was something that we, had to work out a lot.
Okay.
But I was glad to be able to still travel and just have my iPad or my laptop with me and go in the room and go on rehearsal when I needed to, you know? So, that whole thing was great. One of my last favorite parts of the audio show was, the auditioning process. I was literally, where do you think I was?
Girl, in bed in your pajamas.
Nope.
No, okay.
But I was looking raggedy. I can say that much. I was actually baking. I was at work. I was over here at the restaurant baking. And I just so happened to log in, and I was like, should I do it? I'm sitting here fighting with myself like, should I do it? So I raised my hand in the Clubhouse room. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So it got to me, and I'm like, all right, girl, it's now or never. Just go for it. So I went for it. They all loved me and everything. Black Twitter was going crazy, on there, because they was, commenting on Twitter and everything. But that was one of the best parts about it too, because I felt like there was no way for you to see me and judge me first by size, by color, by beauty, by whatever it is that, people, automatically, prejudge you based off of. And that was one of the most amazing parts about it.
Right.
I didn't have to look like The Wiz, if that's the part that I was going after. I didn't have to look like Dorothy. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I could look like me and still I have this voice, you know what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
I can bring forth this character just as much as somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So that was
Yes.
one of my favorite parts about that whole process as well.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love that. I love that. That it's like literally my voice. This is what
Yes.
I'm giving you. And it's like, and you
Yes.
take it or leave it. And there's
Mm-hmm.
no other judgment on it. This is my voice and this is what I'm giving you, you know?
Definitely.
And I love that. I love that. So I would ask you one more question as someone
Mm-hmm.
who has, pretty early on in her career, you've had that foresight to go, oh, yeah, I need to kind of live a well-rounded and full life. Yes, I'm an
Mm-hmm.
actress. Yes, I'm a singer, but I'm also using all of my other gifts. I love baking. I love bringing people together. I love, helping people make memories. So
Right.
you've had that foresight for a long time. But for
Yes.
other artists, what words of advice or nuggets of wisdom would you give them as we, continue to figure it out?
Um, I would like to give other artists the wisdom to never give up, to follow your dreams, not just your dream, but your dreams and your purpose. A
Okay.
lot of times people are out here searching, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel lost and stuff like that. But a lot of times we don't look at the things that we do daily, the things that we love to do, the things that I always say it like the thing I can do this whether you pay me or not. I'm
Mm,
gonna want to do this.
yeah.
I love to do this, and me getting paid from it is a added on bonus for me. You
Right.
know, so we don't look at these things and realize that our gifts will really make room for us, um which it really has, and
Mhm.
that's what I would tell them, to just go after everything that you know that you want to do, that you have always dreamt of, that
Mhm.
thing that comes to you when you're sitting and you're daydreaming,
Mhm.
that vision that you can see yourself doing this. You know,
Yeah.
I can see myself doing that forever till I get
Mhm.
old and I won't get tired.
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
say just chase after it and keep God first. I know that sounds
Yeah.
cliche, but it's the truth.
Mhm.
Like, you have to have something,
Yes.
to help hold your focus, to help bring you back up when
Yep.
you feel knocked down. Because even when you're working in your passion, even when you're working on the things that you love,
Mhm.
trust me, there's going to be times when you want to give up.
Yes.
There
Yes.
are a couple of days a week
Mm.
that I feel like I don't want to go in here today. I don't want to bake a thing. I
Uh-huh.
don't want to, it's days like that where
Yes.
I wake up and I feel like, what am I doing?
Mhm.
Am I
Mhm.
really doing something that, do I really like doing this? I start
Yeah.
questioning myself too, acting all crazy. And it's like, girl, what are you talking about?
What you
You
talking about?
know?
Uh-huh.
So, so I would say just do that and have your support system,
Mhm.
have it solid as a rock.
Mhm.
Make sure that you have the right people around you
Yeah.
that are not just there to mooch off of you, that
Mhm.
are not just there for you to build them up when they're down, but
Mhm.
they'll do the same thing for you.
Yeah.
you know those are the most important things that I have found in
Mhm.
this lifetime,
Yeah.
because even when I feel I have done all that I can and
Mhm.
I have no more to give,
Mhm. Mhm.
there's still more.
Yeah.
And I feel like it definitely takes a village,
Uh-huh.
to help you to pretty much stay on track and stay level minded. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that
Yes.
enough?
Yes, I would
Listen,
take
girl, I
all of
can talk, okay?
I love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing and giving your wisdom and your insight and your experiences. Like, this is
Yes.
your life and you have learned, are still learning, and picking up everything that you can share. All of these things that you're saying, they're things that you've learned. So you
Yes.
can now share with others. But you also know you got more to learn. You're like, I'm just getting
Yes,
started.
definitely.
I'm just getting
Listen.
started.
Listen.
Yes. So 2 things before I let you go. Number
Mm-hmm.
1, give me all of your social media. What's your Instagram, your Twitter, your website, all of those, if you even use those. I know you do, but give me the
Right.
handles.
Okay. So Instagram, I have Sarah, SARAH _ Gracel, GRACEL. And then my business Instagram is thecandygirls.co.
Mm-hmm.
All of that is spelled, regular, not any slang, spelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's all thecandygirls.co. And then for Twitter, it's actually, because I don't even use Twitter
That's
Twitter much, but it's Sarah Gracel.
Mm-hmm.
It's Sarah Gracel. Yes, that's it. That is it. Because I really desire to get better on Twitter, but once it kind of like died down for me, that was just it. Facebook, I have Sarah Gracel Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And the Candy Girls is also on Facebook as well. My website is thecandygirls.co. Mm-hmm. And you can find all things sweet there.
Okay.
And I think that's about it.
Amazing. Don't worry, everybody. All of that's going to go in the show notes. But I just wanted you to say it. But yes, all of it's going to go in the show notes and you guys can click on it. And then the second thing is I must say to you that I acknowledge you, I celebrate you, and I uplift you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. And that may seem like something small, but it feels so good to hear that because we don't hear that often enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And maybe once in a while, but sometimes that's something that we all need to hear. I celebrate you. I acknowledge you. I see you. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm looking at you on Instagram and everything, and very inspiring. And even with this podcast, like, thank God for this platform that you have created. You know what I mean? Because like I said before, this conversation, it gave me a break and it gives me a way to release and to actually, like I said, go down memory lane to remember these things, because these are things that we're talking about. The questions that you're asking me, I'm like, dang, I really forgot these things. I forgot that this happened and that happened. So this was refreshing for me as well. So thank you so much, sis.
Oh, good. And you're very welcome. You are most certainly welcome. Yes. Thank you for joining me.
I can't wait to talk to you again.
Sarah, thank you so much for sharing. Please feel free to visit this episode's show notes for links to get in touch with my guest, as well as a link to rate and review my podcast on Podchaser. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, all you have to do is scroll down to the rate and review section. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and share this episode with at least one friend. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll speak to you soon.